see that new life, you put a little bitty seed in that soil, and then you come back a few days later, and you look and you see a little green sprout. And it pushes, like with its back, it pushes the soil up and raises up, stands up. That's so beautiful. I have always been independent enough that I didn't want to ask anybody else for anything other than what I just had to. When I got so I couldn't work, and the little money that I had saved, it doesn't take long for that to go.
We found in looking around the country that many older Americans do not believe it's possible to gain a measure of financial well-being. And a lot of them are struggling. These are people who have worked their whole lives, living primarily on a fixed income. Better Directions is a program that was designed by the Federation in cooperation with community development credit unions around the country to provide the right financial products and programs to low-income seniors.
Now, I have a very meager income, and it has been so beneficial to me going to the credit union workshops.
One of the biggest issues that seniors face is just living on a fixed income. The cost of living in Chicago is really high. The Better Directions program has provided us some ability to do some additional outreach to seniors. One of the ways is through a free expense reduction workshop that we've been hosting for the past year.
The next section we're going to talk about is energy, like electricity. These are things that we can't do without. We have to pay.
I used to get my electric bill, but I didn't know what it meant or anything. And in this program, all this is explained. If you save $2 or $3 a month, that's $2 or $3 more than you had. I was able to take $15 and open up me a savings account, and I think that's fantastic.
I've been with the credit union since 2003. First was checking account, then a savings account. I had a couple emergencies where I had to take out a loan. I went to like a payday loan, and I guess my credit wasn't good enough, so I went straight to the credit union. And I go right there, no problem, fill the papers out, and bam, I got the loan right there in 30 minutes.
We are offering loans to people who would be considered risky borrowers to kind of provide some alternative financial services, keep our rates and fees low. Our goal is really to work for the good of the membership.
The overarching goal for Better Directions is to change the economic outlook for low and moderate income seniors around the country. The organizations and institutions that are involved in the program are doing what they each do best. The credit union is providing the financial services, their partner in the community is providing the budget counseling, the access to benefits, and referrals are going in both directions so that we ensure that both people in the community and credit union members have opportunities that they may not have had before.
Vraiment, il y a grande différence entre Afrique et Amérique. On dirait pas, il y a la force pour travailler, mais quand tu vas n'importe où, on dit que tu ne sais pas parler la langue.
Alate is one of our clients. He was resettled here in Vermont in early 2004. He came from Togo with no English and limited resources. And over time, he found himself victim of predatory lending.
He had an excellent credit history. He'd never missed a payment in his life, but he'd had a loan for 5 years with a 5-year term. He'd made his payments every single month, but they had kept modifying his payment and modifying his rate, and he had a rate that was 20%. And so he never would have paid it off. He was barely paying the interest. The counseling staff negotiated that debt to less than half of what it was. And so he has been paying back for about 8 months now, and he'll be done paying it off by the end of this year.
Le dette est là, là où je suis, j'ai mis ma tête j'ai mis le cordeau au cou. Ils ont enlevé le corde là. J'ai remercié beaucoup Crédit Union, il m'a aidé. Je vais être propriétaire de mon magasin, mais pour le moment, j'ai en train de travailler ici en attendant.
This is a community-based model, and the true health of the community is reflected in how well we do at helping people maintain some level of stable finances.
I grew up here in Queensbridge all my life, and all my adult life I've worked here. My dad said to me before he died, he said, you're not going to be able to make sustainable change unless you own money. I said, what do you mean own money? Open a credit union, because when you put your money in the bank, you rent and lease the space. When you put your money in the credit union or financial cooperative, as he'd like to call it, you own the space. Any person that becomes a member of the IRTA Federal Credit Union, they become a owner, member, shareholder. So this is a chance to empower a population that has been disenfranchised financially for a long, long time. In a low-income community, you can't go and sit down with Charles Schwab. They don't want to talk to a person making $21,000 a year. So with all these challenges that seniors are facing here in public housing neighborhoods, it's crucial that they are able to connect to services that IRTA provides.
In the beginning, before I joined the credit union, I was a little haphazard with my spending for things that I did not need. I was spending on too much on pleasure things and not things that were very tremendously helpful to me in my financial side. I went to see a financial counselor, and they instructed me how to correct my savings habits.
This is the largest public housing development in the country, Queensbridge Houses, built in 1939. You can imagine why it's so important to have this financial resource right across the street. Community banking at its best.
People that come in here, you'll see them when they're in trauma and they're stressed. Just their faces and their appearance, and their shoulders are down, and you'll see them 3 months later, a year later, and they'll come in. You won't even recognize them because it's like you've lifted 2 tons off their shoulders.
Controlling your destiny lies in, well, your finances and the choices you make.
I live within my means. However meager it is, I've got to take off something, and a friend of mine used to say, put it under the rock. And that's what I call the credit union.
It really works well for me. I'm glad. I think every community needs a credit union like this one we got.
I really believe that Better Directions is bringing banking back to the local community, engaging a senior population. It's really crafting a product that addresses those specific needs that those seniors have.